On tap, Corona, Dos Equis, and Pacifico.
Better beer authority, better beer.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lewandowski, and this is your Better Beer Authority. Today, we're going to be celebrating Cinco de Mayo by doing something a little bit different. If you remember back in like mid-late 2011 when James and the original BBA crew, they did the Bud Light, Nola Light, Coors Light challenge, well, we're bringing it back with a little bit of a twist. Today, we've got Corona, Dos Equis, and Pacifico, beers that would be commonly had at a Cinco de Mayo party. And just like before, even I don't know which one is which. We've had our friend Zach and my wife Ryan pour each of the beers for us while we were tucked away in another room. So they know which is which, but we don't. And we're going to go through them each one by one and try and take a stab at them. Let the blind taste test begin.
All right, first off, I just want to ask, when's the last time you've had any of these beers?
6 months ago.
Really? That's a lot sooner than I would have expected.
Probably a few months ago, Pacifico.
Okay.
I think I had a Corona probably about 4 months ago.
Okay, so it's been a little more recent because, I mean, honestly, for me, it's probably been at least a year on any of these, if not longer. So, yeah, it's still kind of tough to call. Now, right now, I want to guess with, the papers that we have. Right now, I want to ask you guys, if these were your only options for Cinco de Mayo, which one of these are you most likely to buy? You got Pacifico. Okay, so we're all Pacifico. So why wouldn't you get Dos Equis, David?
It's not Dos Equis.
No, well, why wouldn't you get something like Dos Equis? We're all picking Pacifico, of course.
To be honest with you, I haven't had Pacifico. And I've had Corona and I had Dos Equis and I don't like them. So I'm assuming that one of these is going to be Pacifico.
The one that you like maybe a little bit more?
A little bit more.
Okay. Now, kind of in the same aspect, which one of these would you be least likely to buy? Come on there.
I got it.
Okay, so we're all of us but Lucha Bryan here is going Corona. So Corona, just because probably you've had a little more recently, you think you'd probably be more inclined to get that over at Dos Equis?
With Dos Equis, I always felt like it was a very, just the aftertaste is kind of a sour taste from a lager standpoint. Mm-hmm. So I just always found it unpleasant.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So Taco David, I mean, are there really any differences between these in kind of an appearance-wise?
Appearance? These two, well, these are in the same glasses, but they're almost all identical in appearance. This one might seem a little darker, maybe it's a water glass, but
right.
I mean, they all look the same.
Yeah, I'm not getting too much of any difference myself.
And this one has a little bit more white than the other ones too.
A little bit of a head, you mean? Yeah, that's true. And yeah, you're right, because like I said, these, really the head of it could be because of the glass, it could be because of the beer itself, so who knows. Now as well with this, I mean, is there ever a situation where you would really go and pick these out over any other type of beer, not just between these three?
Yeah, I think there is a time and a place for these types of beers. No, aside from the Mexican restaurant choice, but if you're on a hot beach in Mexico, you just finished a surf session or something, you're sweating, you could crush one of these. I mean, you could just absolutely pound one. That's the situation.
Okay.
Also, let's say you've had a big night of drinking. You're drinking stouts, IPAs. These are damn good palate cleansers. When you want to tone it down, just kind of reset your palate, then jump back on the horse.
That's true. That is a good point. So, David, now obviously these beers come in 3 different colored bottles, obviously as displayed. Now, green bottle beers and clear bottle beers can skunk very quickly. Do you pick that up on any of these? Do any of them immediately come with kind of that skunky flavor at all?
I feel that, yes. I think this is probably a little bit more skunky. Well, yeah, probably the most skunked out of all of them. And then it just kind of moves down the line. This does feel kind of skunky-ish, but not as bad as this. This is probably the cleanest one.
See? Okay. Now, Brian, what can you tell me about your experiences with these beers? Also, at the same time, a lot of these, especially Corona, you typically have it with a lime. We're doing it, obviously, not with anything else added to it. Does it make it a little harder to differentiate because maybe like a Corona you would typically have it with a lime?
Yeah, I would say that like if I was to figure out, if you're asking me to figure out what the which one is the Corona, it's definitely going to make it difficult because typically it is had with a lime. Now, I think you're asking me like what kind of occasion where I found myself having this.
Sure, like you said, you had a Corona about 4 months or so.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you, these, we talk about craft beer all the time, but, we also like other, fine spirits and liquor. So if I'm having tequila, this is a great pairing with tequila. I love that, especially we're getting into spring right now, that sense of warm weather. And especially if you're going down to a wedding down in Mexico, or you're just thinking of kind of a festive, party. These are good drinks to have, good beers to have, along with a nice 100% agave tequila.
There you go. I can't disagree on that one. All right, so moment of truth, guys. We're going to start the guessing here. Like I said, I don't even know as well, so let's go. What is your guess for A? All right, we got 3 Coronas and a Pacifico. What is A? A is Corona. All right. Now, what gave it away for me, and I think what gave it away for the rest of us, was A was, to me, the most skunked. And I've tried a Corona, and I remember that flavor.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
Oh, is that better here? You don't want to pass that down? You want to pass that down? I've had it without a lime, and it reminded me a little bit. Now it is Corona. Here you go. Here's a little bit for you.
You know what gave it away for me? It smelled like ass.
It did, and it tasted, like I said, that skunkiness was really there too. Absolutely. So now that we've got it, I gave you a little bit of lime juice. Now, now I got some bubbles on it.
This reminds me of high school.
Now it's Corona.
Oh, yeah.
Now I remember. All right, so Corona is A. What is your guess for B? B? Dos Equis. All right. So, and I agree. I mean, what kind of gave it for you is Dos Equis being B versus the other two?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I figured this was Pacifico. Pacifico is my favorite of this style of beer, and I was hoping that I could pick it up. And honestly, it was pretty difficult between the Pacifico and Dos Equis, but the Pacifico was just a little cleaner for me and just a little more enjoyable.
Agreed. And I kind of picked up on that too. Like I said, there was a hint of that, like, nut skunkiness, but not so much versus A. That it did. It was kind of hard between the 3. So then by default, then C is obviously Pacifico, not Corona. So, all right. So, I mean, for some of us who haven't had it in a while, I mean, what does that say? I mean, I know last time when the original BBA did the Bud Miller Coors Light, I mean, Joby hit the nail on the head being the BMC douchebag. So, I mean, what does that say for the 3 of us? I mean, we know our craft beer, we know our beer, but I mean, for the fact that, I mean, I haven't had these in a long time, it was odd that I was still able to kind of distinguish pretty well between the 3.
See, Corona was my first beer.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've had so much of it that I can tell that it's Corona. And Dos Equis, I've had it, but not as much, but I know this is Corona, I know this is Pacifico because I haven't had it before, and I know that it's the best tasting one, so for the process of elimination, I can say, hey, this is Dos Equis.
Okay. So, Brian, you did mention with having these types of beers in certain settings with parties and, especially after, if you're having like spirits and whatnot, but if you're just at, like, say, just a Cinco de Mayo party and you're looking at strictly just beer for this case, what would you maybe recommend as an alternative for something more of the, craft nature versus maybe something like a, adjunct lager like these are?
I would think, gosh, that's a good question from a craft beer standpoint. I can't think of one.
What do you think?
What was the question?
God, are you that fuzzed over these 3?
I was thinking about something else.
You thinking about surfing?
No, actually, I was thinking about...
You hungry?
I am. No, I was thinking about a craft brewer I know in Mexico City. So,
Oh, okay.
16 Mile out of Georgetown, Delaware. They do Responders Ale, which is like a 4.1%. It's an ale. It tastes like a lager. I mean, and there's nothing distinguished about it, but it's just a pure sessionable ale.
Right.
That's what I would say if you didn't want to buy a Mexican lager. Also, Great Lakes Dortmunder Gold. That's just, it's a lager.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of craft lager options out there now.
Okay.
I won't put a lime in them.
No, I definitely wouldn't put a lime in it. That is the case. David, now, say for example, you are at a party, and somebody's gonna who's having a lot of like Coronas or Dos Equis or whatnot, but you want to talk to them about maybe trying out craft beer versus like these typical adjunct lagers. I mean, what would you typically tell them? What would you say?
Andrés, es un poco difícil tratar de hacer que otra gente que beba cerveza como esta, tratar de decirle, oh, try craft beer.
All right, you heard it.
You're gonna put like subtitles?
No, you should put a subtext as learn Spanish.
Yeah,
Learn Spanish.
I need Rosetta Stone. All right, so it looks like most of us actually did pretty well with guessing between the three of these. Minus,
He needs to be kicked out.
yeah, I know. Minus Lucha Shea. So, are you planning on trying these and having these at Cinco de Mayo parties? Are you gonna have an alternative like Dortmunder Gold or something along those lines? Let us know in the comments. It'd be appreciated. And again, my name's Andrew Lewandowski, and this is your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority.